Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be welcoming back my good friend, Rutanya Alda. It's been a long time coming, since the last time we talked over a year ago. I'm having her back on today because 3 Christmas classics she was in. 2 of them are getting a milestone anniversary. Prancer is celebrating its 30th anniversary. The Ref is celebrating 25 years. And next year, Christmas Evil will turn 40. And I'm having her on the show today to talk about all of that stuff. And I can't wait. It's going to be great. I haven't talked to Rutanya in a while. Like I said, she's a sweet lady, old school, New York actress. And I love her. She's just an amazing woman. So, here is my new interview with Rutanya Alda. Hey, Rutanya.
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
I am spectacular. How are you?
I'm okay. I just twisted my foot or something. It really hurts, so I didn't get in today. So I got to try to get in someplace tomorrow, which is fine. Just got home. I'm not going anywhere else. I'm here. I literally just got in like 15 minutes ago, so I'm glad we scheduled it for 4:30.
Yeah.
It worked out fine.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm here, and I'm happy to talk to you. So happy to talk to you, Tommy.
Yeah, it's long overdue. I hope you can get into a doctor, because having a twisted foot is no good.
Yeah, well, everybody was either full up or they were closed today. So, I'll just wait until tomorrow. It'll all work out. Tomorrow's fine. So, things just sometimes they don't go the way you want them to, and then you have to say, okay, that's fine. It'll work out tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
Life is like that. We can't always have it when we want it, right?
Exactly. I found that out this year. 2019 was a clusterfuck of a year, but it's finally starting to end on a hopeful note.
Yeah, I think 2020 is going to come in really on a good note for me, too. Or I think for most of us, we're ready to end this year. We're ready to say goodbye, 2019, goodbye. We're ready for 2020. So I'll be happy, too. I think, you know what, I just feel like sometimes, you have difficult years or different challenging years.
Right.
And then somehow the universe gives us a break the following year. And that's how I feel now. I thought there's been so many things to deal with this year. And I think 2020 is going to be give a little breathing time, a little break, a little, upswing here. And so I hope it is for you, too, and I hope it is for everybody. And, we all need those upswing years, and I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready, too. Next month is 5 years since my accident and 5 years since I've been sober.
Well, wow, that is amazing. Congratulations first on being sober. And I'm glad that you are well and here on this earth plane still. Because I think we have to do whatever we can do with our lives. And sometimes it's very sad when we go out early, because I think we haven't quite accomplished what we were meant to do here. But, it's a mystery to people, it's just a mystery of the universe. I have no explanation for it. But God must have had a purpose for you to survive your accident and to be here. And do your work. And I think that's what we have to look at, that side, that we're here and our journey isn't complete yet. So we journey on and remember to enjoy the journey. I think so oftentimes we forget to enjoy the journey, the ups and downs and the warts and all. But in spite of that, it's really good to be alive.
Yeah.
It's good to say, wow, may I have another year, or may I have another day. I wake up in the morning and I say, oh, thank you, God, I'm still here. And, you know, your journey ends sooner than we want, you know. My friend Danny Aiello just died a few days ago. And, you know, he was, last time I saw him, he was such a bundle of energy. He was so vibrant and just, you know, just as energized, young little bunny, you know, little one of those little bunnies that goes with the energizer. But he was so full of life, and so it because I had seen him recently, it was a kind of a shock because he didn't look well. He wasn't sick at that time. Mm-hmm. And it happens fast. So it's another reminder to enjoy each day in our journey, in spite of the fact that there are challenges and there's money problems and there's the relationship problems and all these issues that come up that we look at that challenge us. And so we have to say, look, I'm still here and I can deal with this challenge. And, you know, they change. Things, you know, are not set in stone. So something that may be impenetrable or really difficult, it does resolve. And we have to, sometimes you just have to go through that and come out the other side. It's like a tunnel. You go in a tunnel, and even if it's a dark tunnel, you kind of say, okay, it's going to end, and then you see the light, and the light comes, and you're out of the tunnel. I think our lives is something like that. And if we just hang on long enough, things do change. You know, they change. And so those are the ups and downs of life. And so we go and continue our journey as long as we're meant to be here. I think we can be here. Danny certainly had a great journey, and he was very, very positive about life. So in spite of the fact that he lost his son, one of his children, and when the son was in his 30s or 40s, I forget. And you know what? I think it's the hardest thing in the world is to lose a child. I think that's the wrong order of things. But, you know, he was devastated, but he went on and had 30, 40 more years. So anyway, I want to stay positive about that. I think life is good. Life is very good. And I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be talking with you and sharing our thoughts together.
Oh, thank you, Rutanya. Yes. This is half the reason why I'm here, I'll tell you.
Yeah. You have somebody looking out for you. I think the people there are spirits looking out for us, mother, father, or a guardian angel or whatever. But I think in different forms, of course, forms of energy. But I think that they come and visit us and you know, guide us or shape us or protect us in certain circumstances. So I really believe in that. I believe that there are angels around us, and so I always think something good happens. Well, I thank God, and then I say, thank you, whoever is here to protect me. So you know, I think gratitude is really, really important. I think that's a big lesson I learned over the long course of my long life, which I'm grateful for. But I think one of the things that I learned was the power of gratitude. Because if you can see one thing in life and just say, you know, I got home safely, thank you. I'm one of these penny people. I take a penny off the street and I say, oh, thank you for my abundance. My son makes fun of me. He says, oh, Mom, it's only a penny. I said, yeah, but, you know, it appeared in my life. And it's abundance, and I'm grateful, and I'm going to practice gratitude. And the train came in on time. Well, I had an appointment with my director this morning, and I was running a little late, but I said, if I can just catch the subway on time, I'll be on time. So I'm going down the stairs, not as fast. I hear the train coming in, and there's a young guy just running down like a runner, whoops, right past me. And then he says to me, he hollers to me, he says, don't worry, I'm going to hold the door. And when I got my card out, I was there, and he was holding the door on the subway, and it was the right train and everything. I said, "Oh, thank you so much, thank you, you're an angel," because of him and his helpfulness. I was on time for my appointment because my director hates it when I'm late. So and I don't like to be late either. But little things like that. Oh, thank you that this person appeared in my life and held the door for me. I said, thank you. So I think it's the small things that we should be grateful, focus on to be grateful for. Because when the big things appear, we're always grateful, But I think the small everyday moments in life to be grateful for are really important. And I think the sense of gratitude that goes with it magnifies gratitude in one's life. So I have learned this lesson. And plus it keeps you mentally in a better place,
Right.
And if we can be grateful for small things like my cat coming and sitting on my lap, I think, oh, this is so wonderful. Thank you, Popeye. And just live in gratitude each day, even when life is not as expected. There's something good that if we can keep that mental thing that something good is going to come out of this negative experience, then you look at the experience differently. It makes you look at it differently, and I think it's better state of mind. It's a better state of mind to live with.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it makes life easier because it's very easy to dig that hole for ourselves and just keep digging it. And it's the worst thing, really, we can do to ourselves. We just have to stop ourselves consciously and say, wow, I've got to stop digging this hole. I've got to just say, wow, no, I'm a good person. I'm a unique person. I'm a person of God. I'm a person that deserves the best. And it's a lot of times it's how we talk to ourselves. And we have to stop these negative thoughts about ourselves. We have to become our own best friend because I wouldn't talk to a person that I know and like that way. That sometimes, like I talk to myself, I wouldn't be as hard on the other person. I'd say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry this is happening to you, and I'm sure it's going to get better, or something of that sort. Now, why can't we say that to ourselves? I'm sorry this is happening to you, but it's going to get better. You're doing great. You're doing the best you can, and that's all you can do at this moment. So, and forgive ourselves and say, look, okay, I made a mistake. I'm human. Let me just know that I'm sorry I made this mistake, but I got to go on, and I'm going to learn from this. It's how we talk to ourselves, and a lot of our talk is very self-destructive. Mm-hmm. And if I can just be able to reach out now through you and your voice, then to say to somebody, just be kind to yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Be your own best friend and treat yourself. Just say, would I be speaking to a best friend like I'm speaking to myself? And if the answer is no, then don't do it. Don't do it. Speak it like you're your best friend. And so be kind to yourself. It's just a little life. You go through life and you stumble and fall as I have and run all these things that, really ultimately I hurt myself. And then I look back and I think, why did I do that? So you learn. It's all a learning process, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like life is such a learning process, and it's really interesting, I've got to say. It was an interesting experience, so I'm not bored.
It's a very interesting experience, yes. And you're so right. You are so right.
Yeah, we just have to be good to ourselves. And this is a season, I think one of the things about Christmas and the holidays and Hanukkah or whatever somebody celebrates is a reminder that we can be born again. And I don't mean it in the holy roller religion. I mean, even though that gives people peace, whatever gives people peace and hope, I'm for it. But I mean the sense that a child is born, we can be reborn every holiday season. We can say, look, it's a new year coming up. it's a new birth. I can be reborn. I can rejuvenate myself. I can have different attitudes. I can look at the world with a childlike eyes, which is really interesting when you see children. And they look around, and it's like they look at life. They really look. And I think, wow, I look at some kids in the subway the other day, like 8, 9-year-olds, and they were having such a joyous time. I thought, wow, I remember those years. Wow, okay, and I was laughing and smiling with them. I didn't interact with them because I had no business interacting with them. But I was watching them, and I was laughing and smiling at their joy and their goofing around with each other. And I thought, well, yeah, this is good. This is good that I'm experiencing this. And I think it's just our own awareness of how we fit in. However we fit into this universe, it's great. It's great. And let us just say, you know what, I'm doing okay. I'm doing the best I can. My acting teacher always used to say, look, Rutanya, and everybody in the class, people really do the best they can. Nobody goes out in the world and says, oh, I'm going to do the worst I can. They do it. People go out each day and they do the best they can. And I think that's great. I think people should be celebrated for doing the best they can.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's it. That's life. We do the best we can. And I hadn't thought of it till she said that. And I thought, yeah, nobody goes out and says, I'm going to do the worst I can today. I'm going to be this. Well, people go out and say, I think this is my best day, and then things happen. Sometimes they happen, they're good, and sometimes they happen, and they're not so good. But everybody's doing the best they can, and as long as we have some friends and hopefully some family, that's great. We're kind of rich if we have that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. A good kind of rich.
Yeah, a good kind of rich, because you can't buy it. You can't pay somebody and say, well, you're going to be my friend for a week or something. You could, but that's going to be somebody on the payroll. They're not going to be there because they want to spend time with you. They're going to be there because they're paid to spend time with you. And that's different. It's a different thing. But you know what? I always say, if you have 5 friends in your lifetime, you're really a rich man.
Mm-hmm.
Because those people are special. And there's not that many really, some of my really good friends have died, of course, and I think that's the biggest loss in getting old, is that your friends have gone. Mm-hmm. And that's what I miss the most about getting older. It's like 4 really good friends died before me, and I thought, oh, now I get it. Now I get when people say, maybe I've lived too long. If all your friends have died before you, maybe I've lived too long. But hopefully, I have a couple of new friends, maybe 2, and I consider myself rich if I have 2.
That's great.
Maybe 3. Maybe there's a possibility of a 3rd one. But I'm rich. I figure 3 friends. That's good. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Good. So that's sort of my take on this holiday season and my life, and go out in New York, and I'm uplifted by all the lights. We have a lot of lights here, Christmas lights. Things are blinking, things are lit up, and I thought, wow, this is perfect, because in the darkest month, which is light-wise, which is December, we have all these lights around us, and I thought,
mm-hmm.
There's a reason that Christmas was in December. It's like, we can light up the candles, we light up the lights, we have Christmas tree lights, we have outdoor lights, we have walking down. We had to be at a event last night on 56th Street. So I'm walking by all the Fifth Avenue lights and Tiffany lights and Bergdorf Goodman lights and the star in the middle of 57th lights.
Yeah.
I said, wow, this is nice. Like, nice lights here. So I think that pertains to our own world. We can just have a little light somewhere, but we'll be okay. We'll be okay this year. And next year, I'm really looking forward to something about 2020. that, you know, when you have perfect vision, you have 20/20. But there's also something nice about that year. It's an even year with two even numbers, like 20/20. That is going to be special. I don't think there's going to be another. I don't think there's number-wise. It's going to be a 20/20 or we had 19/19, but that was last year.
Right.
And we never had 19/19 because I don't know. That 19/19 was even before I was born. It was like it was the early century when my grandmother was alive. That was 19/19. So, but you know, it's nice. It's special. It's nice to look at it that way, anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you did 3 Christmas classic movies back in the day, 2 of which are celebrating a milestone anniversary. The first one, of course, is Prancer.
Yes. You know what? It isn't. Thanks for reminding me. It is a milestone anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30.
It's a sweet movie. I mean, it's a sweet, sweet movie. It was more to that movie that a lot of it got cut out. There was a scene between me and Sam Elliott where he played my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a wonderful scene because it kind of explains the relationship between him and his daughter. And I'm sorry they cut it because it was the adult part of the movie. I always think if, like in Miracle on 34th Street, there's the adult part and the children's part, and they kind of mix it up together. So I'm kind of sorry that John Hancock cut it. But you know what? It's a sweet movie, and it's an innocent. It's about belief and faith and love and this little child, and it's a sweet movie. And I'm so glad to be in a Christmas movie that people see at least once a year. I'm very honored to be part of that.
Yeah, it is a sad, heartwarming family classic with such a great cast. Sam Elliott, he's so intense in this movie, and I was so happy this year he finally got an Academy Award nomination.
Wasn't that wonderful? He is the nicest man you'd ever meet. He's just nice. It's like supportive and humble and has a sense of humor. And yes, I'm so glad that he got honored that way. And because he certainly is wonderful in everything he does. So, but sometimes it takes years for people to see that, and people in the industry especially. But I thought I was so happy that he got nominated. I watched the Oscars and I saw his face. He was sitting there with his wife, and I saw his face, and I said, "Oh my God, good for you, Sam. You just feel good. You know, you feel good about it." So, as one should. But I was glad to see him there. Yeah, he's just a lovely, lovely man.
Mm-hmm. And Cloris Leachman was in it.
Yeah, Cloris. Yeah. I got to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Cloris wore one of the same wigs that Faye Dunaway wore in Mommy Dearest.
Really?
One wig is, yeah. And my friend Vivian Walker, who was the hair person on Mommy Dearest, had to be very good friends with her. She had behind her house, she had a nice-sized garage that was outfitted with, as a room for wigs, mirrors, everything. She had maybe 500 or 600 wigs, but I mean, really wonderful wigs, real hair wigs that she had collected through her career working with really famous people like Joan Crawford and Vivian Leigh and Meryl Oberon and all these major stars. She was their hair person on. So they'd asked for, Cloris wanted a wig, long hair wig, because she had short hair. And so they sent her that wig, and she wore it. And then when I got back to LA, Vivian said, "Oh my God, they wrecked my wig. They wrecked. It was perfect. The hair was perfect, and I got it back. I can't use it anymore. They really wrecked it." So it's very hard when somebody's doing hair that doesn't know wigs. I learned that on Mommy Dearest because the person that ultimately, Vivian was supposed to do a phased hair and the wigs, but they decided she wanted, she liked Private Benjamin, and she liked the way Goldie Hawn looked.
Yeah.
Her wig, as I wrote in my book, it's probably old news to you. Then it turned out that that person that was hired to do phase wigs didn't know how to do wigs, and that's when I learned that yes, you can do hair and be wonderful hair, but wigs are a different artistry. Wigs are a different deal.
Yeah.
So they don't work the same way as real hair. So one has to be really taught to do wigs. And of course, in Vivian's day, there were so many wigs that she became the mistress of she became the top wig person in her field in the industry.
Right.
So she was crying and crying that they ruined her wig, and so I'll always remember that. I said, "I'm sorry, Vivian. You were on that movie. What happened?" I said, "I don't know. I wasn't in when she was doing her wigs. I don't know. I wasn't there at that time." But anyway, that's a little story that most people don't know.
Yeah. Abe Vigoda, legend.
Oh, he's a wonderful man. He's such a sweetheart. He kept saying, "They're always writing that I'm dead." And he said, "I'm not dead. I'm not dead yet." But this story got around that time that they even published an obituary of him dying. He carried it in his wallet. Yeah. "I'm not dead. Look at this obituary, and I'm not dead yet." But he's a sweetheart. Yeah, he's a legend. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I didn't realize, too, Johnny Galecki was in the movie the same year he was in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're a source of great little tidbits that people don't know. Good for you.
Yeah, I don't know which one he did first, but they both came out like a couple weeks apart from each other.
Wow.
And Ariana Richards, I've been trying to find her forever. I loved her in Jurassic Park.
Oh, wasn't she wonderful in Jurassic Park?
Yeah.
She was such a sweetheart. She was just a lovely girl. She was there with her family, her sister, her brother, and her mother. The sweetest family. Just a really down-to-earth, sweet family. And when I saw her in Jurassic Park afterwards, I said, "Oh my God, there she is. Little sweetheart." Yeah. What is his? I haven't checked, maybe. Did you check the IMDb? Has she been working?
I don't know if she's been working. I haven't checked it in a while, though. But, yeah, I mean, in the 90s, she did a lot of stuff. I saw her
She did do a lot of stuff, yeah. And then sometimes, when you start out as a kid actor, sometimes out of your career fades, or you just get tired of it, 20 years later, and you want to do something else. And I don't know. I'm going to check on her when we get off of talking, and I'm going to see what happened to her, because she was a sweetheart. Oh my God, she was such a little darling.
Yeah. How were the deers on the movie? Were they well behaved?
Well, they had a little trouble with them, but that was the handler. But they were very tame and very. The professional guy came in. That was he was the deer man or the handler. But they were his, and he brought them down. So, but whenever you work with an animal, it's, you have to do that take. Unless you look out, it's the first or second take. But, they're unpredictable, as they should be. And so I remember they had to take many takes on a couple of occasions to get what John wanted. But everybody, the handler was very nice, and the deers, I mean, nothing, they weren't mean or anything. They were just, sometimes they wanted to eat or something.
Yeah.
In the movie,
Yeah.
the whole thing, or they were interested. Something else caught their interest in the area, just like with animals. And all of a sudden, you're out with your dog, and something else catches his interest, and he's focused on that interest, and that's just sort of the way it was with the deer. So I don't think it was too bad, actually. I think it's just maybe they just went over a couple of days, and that wasn't bad.
Yeah. And then the ref is celebrating its 25th anniversary.
Oh my gosh, Ted Demme, what a sweetheart. He was a director. When he died, he was very young, like in his 30s. It was such a loss, because Ted was developing a little rep company of actors. Like after I did the rest with him, he had me in this movie of the week when they had movies of the week called The Gun. And I just hired me, and I didn't have to read or anything for him. It was so nice. He just said, I just want you to play this part. And I said, great. And he was assembling this repertory company of actors where he was using them. And he was the nicest man, really a sweetheart, loved actors, and loved his people that he was starting to kind of collect. He said, I'm going to collect you guys, you're going to be part of my repertory company. But he died so young. Oh my God, I was like done. I mean, sometimes you go, when people get older, you think, okay, yeah. But he was in his 30s. He had like 1 or 2 little kids. And young kids, like babies. And that was a big loss. And it was a loss to us as actors because, to find a director that loves actors is sometimes not as easy as you think.
Yeah. I remember seeing the teaser trailer for the movie in the theaters when I was 10, and I was looking forward to maybe going to see the movie because Dennis Leary went on these tirades like he does in the stand-up comedy and his MTV promos.
Yeah.
And then and then when I saw it, I think I saw it on video, I was just disappointed that he wasn't going into his tirades like that and stuff. But I grew to appreciate the movie over time.
Yeah, I think it has, it has a following, and it has a certain kind of comedy and edge to it, which is, I think it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
And Ted was one of these people that you could just see he was going to really, really get better, and I thought, man, this guy's going to wind up being a great director. And of course, it didn't happen because life is full of surprises, and so that's what happened. But I love the movie, and you're right. I think Dennis played it in a different way. And I think it had a lot to do with Ted because they were good friends first of all, but I think also they spent a lot of time together talking about how Ted wanted it done, and they sort of collaborate. I think they had the most collaboration of anybody else on the film. I think it started before the film, and they worked very well together. I mean, I remember they were really good friends.
Yeah, Ted did. I mean, he had directed Dennis Leary's Showtime special, No Cure for Cancer, like the year before, and that got them a huge following, for this movie and stuff. I mean, it's just hilarious, goofy black comedy that has the holiday themed, and I think that it didn't get a huge box office because it came out long after Christmas.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But little by little, people are finding it. I think they're finding it a little bit more. But Ted enjoyed doing, comedy. He really, and then he was going to a little bit more serious stuff. But he really loved comedy. And of course, you mentioned that he did that special with Dennis, and he really appreciated him. As a performer.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant. I mean, he steals jokes from other comedians, but he's still brilliant just with that energy and how and how he's.
A lot of it's just I think people do that. Find a good joke and see if you can steal it, but or have a really good writer help you. But I think it's done in the. It's just how you do it. Everybody's going to do it a little bit differently, and he has a crazy kind of energy on stage. You're right. You're absolutely right. And that works for him.
Yeah, he blames heavy metal, non-smokers, and vegetarians for the state of the world.
I'm so glad we can laugh about this. I think comedy is. I think it's sad it's become too PC.
Yeah.
And a lot of the comedians won't play at colleges anymore because everything's too PC.
Yeah.
And I think that's sad because comedy should be way out there. And if you insult people, so what? You insult them and then insult another group. But you know what? It's good to laugh at even oneself. It's good to laugh at yourself. And foibles, and or if you're mad, you're mad. But I'm really sorry that this comedy is becoming so PC, and the major comedians are all talking about how they don't play colleges anymore, and they're careful where they play, and they're all upset that they have to be so careful because comedy is like, I don't know, you look at George Carlin,
brilliant,
people like that, and they were so topical, current, and you'd look at something, and he'd look something to say, and even if you didn't agree with him, you would laugh, and that's the best remedy for anything. If you can laugh at yourself and not be so, or laugh at something that you like or you held, or somebody makes fun of what you hold dear, well, you know what? It's all, it's good to laugh and say, oh, okay, that's another point of view. But I'm really sad that I think our comedy is too safe today.
It is way
and
too
safe. I wonder if Dennis is experiencing that. I haven't seen him in a long time, so I don't know. But has he done any shows lately? Has he done any stand-ups lately?
I don't know if he has lately. I remember 6 or 7 years ago he was hosting a show on Comedy Central called Douchebags and Donuts, and he was wearing his leather jacket, and he had his cigarette and everything, and doing the old act and stuff.
Yeah.
That's the last time I saw it, but I don't know if he's doing it lately.
The sad thing is that he may not be able to do that now.
Yeah.
And that's sad. I hope that changes. I hope we let the comics be funny again. That's the point, is that they do insult things. But they're funny about it. A good comic will do that. They're funny about it. I know Jerry Seinfeld said he's starting to do some stand up every once in a while, and he does that show, in the car. But he said there's no way he would ever do a college tour because he said he just would have to censor himself, and he's not going to do that. And I'm kind of sad about that. I hope that changes. I hope we evolve back into comedy. And if you don't like somebody, don't go see them. It's like don't go see them. But if we like somebody, we should be able to see them without somebody saying, "Oh, he's nasty," or "He's what," or "He's that." I mean, we have a choice. We don't have to love everybody, but there's a lot of comedians out there that are good comedians that are not doing what they were doing.
Well, being a comedian myself, I can tell you this. Now in comedy clubs, they make an announcement over the PA. If you have a disagreement with what the comedian is saying and you have the urge to heckle, just walk out and leave.
Yeah, that's the answer. You don't have to play. Nobody's tying you to the chair and making you listen. But, I really admire you for being a stand-up comedian, by the way. I think that is the hardest thing a performer can do, because you have nobody to catch you, You're out there. I think you're very brave, because at least in a play or something, if you have an off night or somebody, the other actors are there kind of support you, or if you forget your lines, they're there and they'll laugh them for you. I've done that in plays. When somebody all of a sudden you see the look on their faces and they've got totally blank.
Oh, yeah.
And other actors will pick up the lines or pick up the thing until the actor clicks in again.
Oh, yeah.
But you, as a stand-up comedian, you are there, my darling, all on your own, and I so admire you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, going back to that political correctness thing, I was kind of canceled in the Bay Area, unfortunately, about a year ago, with all this crap going on with political correctness and stuff. But it's okay. I mean, I've lived, a couple hours away and stuff, and eventually I'm going to get down to Los Angeles next year. I was supposed to do it this year, but that fell through.
So 2020 is going to be a good year to go down to Los Angeles and do some comedy.
It will.
That's good. Good for you. Absolutely. I think the PC stuff, I'm hoping that it will end in the next year or so. Mm-hmm. People will be more understanding and not so narrow. There has to be this, and you can't say this, and you can't say that. I'm really kind of terrified about that. I don't want to watch what I say every minute of the day. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, my friend Sylvia Miles died earlier this year, and I was at a memorial for her a couple of months ago, where like 50 people got up and spoke. I wasn't one of them, but I was listening. And if Sylvia were alive day starting out, she'd be blackballed because she had no filter on her. And she would say all these things, but some of them were really funny, you know. Yeah. And of course, if you didn't like Sylvia, you could leave. You know, you could leave, and you didn't have to stay. But that's kind of a freedom we should enjoy, and comedians should enjoy. It's like, oh, I wish you the very best, Tommy. I think you're very, very, very brave. I really salute you. And I think comedians are the bravest people today because they're getting up at the risk of stuff. But I think whoever said what they said is, look, you don't have to stay rather than heckle, rather than be unhappy. You can leave. Just leave. Walk up and leave and go somewhere else. But don't deprive the rest of us of a fun evening. And I think if we could laugh at ourselves and with the comedian, I think that's so healthy. I think it's healthy to be able to laugh. Even when something is dear and near to you, if it's funny, laugh at it. It's not. Nobody's forcing you to change your mind about stuff or how you feel, but you can laugh at it and laugh at yourself. It's healthy.
Yeah. But before we go back to the ref, I'll tell you this story. Back in April, my mom and I, we were in LA, and we went to the Comedy Store, and they have 15 comedians in one night. And we were there on a Thursday night. My mom, she had a couple of drinks, and she started heckling every comedian. And she thought this was an open mic because there was 15 comedians. She's never been to a professional showcase where there's 15 guys, only 3, you know, stuff I've done and stuff. And so she didn't know that it wasn't an open mic, so she was heckling every comedian. She was having a great time, and they liked her, but it was just so embarrassing. I mean, she heard a couple comedians that she thought just were way too nasty. There was one, his wife has been on the podcast because she has a great podcast I listen to, Bert Kreischer. She was like heckling him and stuff, and I wanted to go up to him and tell him that I've interviewed his wife, and I apologize for my mother and stuff, but he got lured away into the next room to do a set there, so I didn't get to meet him, unfortunately.
Well, you will eventually, but it's part of I'm sure being a comedian, but you can heckle, and then you can heckle where it's really nasty, and I don't think somebody has to be nasty as this brave person up in front with all alone with no safety net doing a show. I'm telling you, I couldn't do it, Tommy.
Yeah, it could be quite a shit show.
Yeah, but I'm sure when you're getting laughs, it feels wonderful.
It does.
I'm sure it's like acting when you when you feel like you've done a good scene or it feels wonderful. And I'm sure when you're up there and it's clicking for you, it's got to be another kind of a high.
Oh yeah, I did plays in high school, and I've done plays here and there since and stuff, and I've done backstage work and stuff. It's all the same feeling. You please the audience, and then you get that creative rush.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you do, and it feels so good. It really does. It's like this feeling washes over you, and it's just, and you're off of it for a long time. I mean, sometimes weeks. I go, oh, that was remember that moment. Oh, that was great, and you get that same kind of a little rush, and it's terrific. So anyway, I so support you. Please continue in your comedy career because it's valuable.
Oh, I will. And when you see me post something politically incorrect, please like or love it.
I like it. Oh, I'll like it immediately.
Yeah.
And I will like it.
My favorite line in The Ref is when Christine Baranski says, who would catch a criminal and let him go free? And the daughter says, Republicans.
He was topical, wasn't he? He was more topical than you look back and the stuff in the thing was very, you could just work today.
Yeah. Could you just believe, though, that Me Too experience that Kevin Spacey had a couple of years ago?
What a shock that was. That was like a real shock. And wow, talk about a fall. He was so on top, and now he's not working.
It's sad, yeah.
And I was kind of, even though I love Christopher Plummer, I love him a lot, and I thought he was perfect as the old Getty in that movie.
Yeah.
I was kind of sad that they eliminated Kevin Spacey from it. He was the original guy.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. And I love Christopher Plummer. I thought he did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But when you eliminate somebody's work, and let him stand trial. If he's guilty, but we have forgotten the whole premise of our country. We're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Due process. Yeah, I'm so sick of this. We're
found guilty right away, and then we have to somehow prove our innocence. That's contrary to what this country was founded on. Mm-hmm. That is the difference between us and the English that we separated from, is that what was put in saying you are innocent until proven guilty, and I think it's Amendment number 13 that says you have a right to confront your accuser,
right,
and defend yourself. When did we become guilty all of a sudden by one thing one person says? I'm not saying that Kevin Spacey isn't guilty, but I don't know. Was there ever a trial? Was it ever proven?
Right.
I think that trial was canceled. It bothers me that we're so quick to judge and say because if one person says something, well, let's have a trial. One person says this and you're guilty. All right, let's have a trial. Let's find out the truth the best we can. But to immediately have somebody's career killed because of what one person says, or maybe two people, it has to be. So we have to get back to we're innocent until we prove it guilty.
All it is guilty by social media. That's all it is.
Social media, yes. Yeah. And once it goes out there, like who was it recently that was found that whatever was out there was found not to be true? I can't remember who. But then when the paper, whoever it was, that said that exonerated that person, well, you can't go out there to 2 million Twitters, or you can't say, well, that's not true. You've already been judged because it's on social media. You've been judged guilty, and when it turns out you're not guilty, you can't take it back. People still think you're guilty.
Yeah.
It's really, really damaging. Somebody can ruin a person's life and reputation and life just by not waiting to see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see let's see what else comes up. Let's see what the evidence is. Let's hold back on becoming part of the pack that, they see the blood and they'll just go in there and they'll just tear that person apart. It's really scary and it's not right because people's lives are valuable, and once you tear somebody apart, it's hard to put them back together again. Even when you find out later, I was wrong. He didn't do that. He or she didn't do that.
Yeah.
Well, the damage is, and I think a lot of it is through social media. The word comes out, and then later on, if the person will apologize, but it's too late. It's too late, and the person has already been devastated. So this is a very big concern of mine in this day and age with all the media that's out there, and you say one thing and ruin that person's career, ruin that person's livelihood, ruin that person's life. It's something that I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I think we have to be more careful and find out. Just wait and let's see what the facts reveal. If it's really the case might be dropped because there's no facts out there.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of times the case is dropped, but you never hear that it's dropped.
Yeah.
you just hear there's accuser that said something about somebody, and then there was no trial, there was nothing.
Well, it's like an auction. Any more takers? Anybody else had that experience? It's just I don't get it.
Analogy.
Yeah, I don't get it. Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's a strange time. I keep saying though, once we finally impeach the Orange Man, I think the whole what they call woke culture, woke comedy it's going to drop to its knees, I think, because then they'll find something new to jump on the bandwagon for, presidentially.
Yeah, and I don't know, it's sad. I just want to hear both sides. People are smart. Let them hear both sides. Let it not just be one side. Let it hear both sides. And then you make up your own mind. But and you're right, once if that happens to Mr. Trump, it'll be somebody else will be next. Because that's the way it is today.
Mm-hmm.
They need another person to, and who knows? It's a difficult time to be in because I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm still back to. I want the person to be innocent until he's really whatever. That's this country, innocent until they're proven guilty, because that seems more fair to me.
Right.
Then you're guilty, and now you have to prove you're innocent. That's like upside down. So,
yeah.
We'll see what happens. Things reveal themselves, but I hope comedy goes on. I hope we get less PC and be more, things get more daring and not so restricted. So
Exactly.
I miss all the old comedians that brought up all these issues and political issues and made me laugh. Even though sometimes I didn't agree with them, they made me laugh, and they gave you something to think about too. Maybe he's got a point there. I remember years ago. Remember Mort Saul?
Of course, he's still alive.
He's still alive, and he's usually up in Los Angeles.
San Francisco.
There's a Mulholland, and I forget what the other cross street is.
Mm-hmm.
Coldwater, or not Coldwater, but Benedict Canyon, I think. There's a coffee shop up there, and he goes up there every day. Well, I saw a show that he had, probably one of the last shows when I was living in L.A.,
Mm-hmm.
And then my friend and I decided to go get a bite to eat afterwards, and there was this coffee shop nearby. And we go in, and there's more talk. And he said, we just saw your show. He said, you were so wonderful and so funny. And he said, come sit down here.
Mm-hmm.
Have something, spent like 4 hours till 4 o'clock in the morning, I think, with Mort Saul, who was so smart. Oh my God, I had no idea he was so brilliant. I mean, he had such knowledge of things, and he was so open to people coming at me who is sitting down. He didn't know me and my friend had gone there, and so, but he was daring. He would bring up subjects and things that
Mm-hmm.
he was right out there on the line. He was like, playing that thin line. But what a funny, brilliant man. I never realized he was so brilliant. I knew he was really smart. I didn't know he was so brilliant until those 4 or 5 hours in that coffee shop with him. I'm like, wow, he knows so much.
That's such a contradiction, because I heard he's such a misogynist.
Oh, he wasn't that nice. That's all I can say. And somebody said he sits in that coffee shop every day, and he that's his social hour, that he talks to people.
Yeah.
No, I didn't meet him in that coffee shop that he sits there every day. I met him around the theater from where his show was. But he was so friendly, and he was just nice. He was so open and nice, and wanted to have conversations with people.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that was his social hour with, interact with people. So that was really interesting.
Yeah, he lives up in San Francisco. I know people who know him. I'd never met him, but I sent him a message to do the podcast once. I never heard back. I think he's...
Find out where he goes for coffee.
Yeah.
not wearing the area. He goes, believe me, he goes somewhere. That's his routine when he lived in L.A. So find out where he goes to coffee, and you know what? He'll say yes. He'll meet you in person, he'll talk to you, and he'll say yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Find out. Somebody's got to know.
Yeah.
And I mean, Jackie Mason, I ran into Jackie Mason a couple of times with this one.
Oh, I heard he's a jerk.
Now closed. But he was there with his girlfriend or friend or something.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh my God, Miss Mason!" And he do like 1 or 2 minutes of jokes. And I thought, thank you. You know, I said, no problem. But he'd have a joke, somebody say something, and he'd kind of like a joke he was trying out or something. But it's funny, the old-time people, the old-time comedians, I found out with Jackie Mason, especially more so, and also Jonathan Winters.
Oh, yeah, I love Jonathan Winters.
I was doing a commercial years ago on the sound stage, and we came out for a lunch break, me and a couple of the other actors, just to get out of the studio and get some sunlight. And there was Jonathan Winters, and he was taking his break too. And we said, "Hi, Mr. Winters, we really love you." And he did like a 45-minute. God, those days I wish we didn't have cell phones to record stuff. But he just did off the top this 45-minute monologue about stuff. I don't know. I don't remember even what it was about, but it was just like he performed for the 5 of us between sound stages, and then they called us and they called him, and I said, wow, who knew that this was like extraordinary? Jonathan Winters, you know.
Yeah.
So I think these old time comedians were, you know, I every one of them that I've met, which hasn't been that many, I probably heard all my tweets, but they were all very gracious and they loved to have conversations. So anyway, find Mort Saul where he hangs out, has his coffee.
Okay.
and you'll get him on the podcast. He will come.
Next year is the 40th anniversary of Christmas Evil, and I remember you telling me the first time we talked that the thing that you remembered the most about the movie was that you didn't get paid.
Well, you know what? The other first thing I remember about the movie is it was really icy and cold, and I fell on the ice and I hit my head.
Wow.
I think I got a concussion. At that time, I didn't know I had a concussion, but my head really hurt for a couple of days afterwards. So that's my big memory of Christmas Evil, is that my head really hurt. I had a bump on top of my head. I had to put the hat on, so it was fine, covered the bump.
Yeah.
And that was my big memory. What I remember, maybe I just don't remember much because of that huge bump on my head, but it certainly has been around, though, hasn't it? It's been around a long time.
Yeah, going on 40 years. I was watching it the other night, and I just realized how bizarre the first 5 minutes is, because him and his siblings are watching Santa come down the chimney, and then he remembers after the credits that Santa went down on his mother. This is bizarre.
I wonder if you could make that movie today. You think you could make that movie? I don't know.
Maybe for Netflix.
That's right, exactly. Oh, it's like slightly X-rated.
Yeah.
Show.
I've got Brendan Maggart coming on this Wednesday, and
good.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I heard him do an interview a couple of weeks ago where he said that the director Lewis Jackson spent 10 years trying to fund this movie.
Whoa.
That's
I didn't know that. See, you're a good source of information. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I'm going to ask him about that, but that's very inspirational and bizarrely dedicated at the same time.
You know, I tell you, that's true dedication. If you spend 10 years trying to get something made, my hat is off to that person. However the movie is, it's a big thing to stick with what you believe and what you want to do, and spend 10 years until you get it done. That is, you know, my hat is off to him. It's off to him and saying, Okay, you did do it. You did it. And it's still around, which is quite a big accomplishment to say, okay, every Christmas I'll watch this movie, or I'll watch it around that time. Because I think people do watch it a lot. I think it has a little following.
Yeah, it does. Jeffrey DeMunn, I'd love to talk to him, but he hasn't been on Twitter since 2016.
Ah, okay. I don't know him. I know who he is, but I knew him. I'm calling for you, but I don't know him. But
Diane Hull, she was great.
Yeah. There were some wonderful actors.
Yeah, I found out she teaches acting with her sister, and her sister has a public email that I messaged her and see if her sister could come on and stuff, and hopefully I'll get a response back.
Yeah, keep messaging her.
Yeah.
I think maybe that's one of the things. Don't give up. Message people and keep reminding them. Sometimes if you get somebody at the right time when they have time in between whatever they're doing, sometimes it's a matter of timing. So I would do it every month.
Yeah. Robert Lesser, who plays the detective, I'm supposed to have him on this week too.
Oh, good.
And Raymond J. Barry, he was also in the ref with you.
He was in the ref, yeah. I did a play with him. I played his wife in a play before we did the thing. Lovely man. Are you able to get him on?
I haven't been able to find him, no.
I think he retired. I lost touch with him. We were in touch for a while, then I lost touch with him. He's a really nice man. Mm-hmm. He moved from New York to L.A. where he was studying, and he got a lot more work in television and film than when we did the show together. But gosh, I haven't. It's interesting. I'll see if I can get a contact number on him. I haven't had it for a while, so it's interesting. In this business, you work together for a while, you were in contact for a while. That somebody moves to another state, or like Ray settled in L.A., and then I saw him again on the ref. But sometimes when you don't run into each other regularly, and somebody moves to another city, it's like you lose contact. And it's sad, it's sad in a way. But then when you see each other again, it's almost like you never lost contact. That's the funny thing about the business.
Yeah.
The acting, you don't see an actor for many years, and all of a sudden you see them, it's like you just saw them the other day. But it's nice and it's sad because you want to be able to keep in touch with people, but it doesn't happen. People have their own lives and they take different directions, and a lot of times it just doesn't work in keeping in touch. But what's nice is that you've had that experience with them, so when you see them again, it's like you remember that experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. The ending is so unexpected and contradictory because he flies off into the North Pole in a van. It reminds me of two other horror movies from that period that had a really weird, ambiguous ending. Sleepaway Camp, in which the girl is a boy, she has a penis that we all see. And then this slasher movie called The Prey, in which the killer falls in love with the final girl, like right when he's about to kill her.
It's funny. All these things they're funny and they're bizarre. They have their, sometimes you want to see movies like that. You just want to see a funny, weird, bizarre movie and just say, oh, the hell with it. I'm just seeing this movie and it makes no sense, and some of it is, but you kind of are entertained by it. You think, okay, I want to be entertained tonight.
Yeah. So last time you were on, you mentioned that you were working on a one-woman show.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's where I went this morning with my director. Mm-hmm. We worked on the final 3 pages. But the script has been sent in last month to Sundance Theater Lab. People don't realize that Sundance has a theater program. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, the film is a big program. Everybody knows that films and scripts that are accepted by Sundance they get done. They have a good fall. They have good press and a good following. But Sundance has a theater lab, and they accepted my play for women. Wait, I should get for that. It's finals. So, but I'm up against a lot of plays. but I'll know April the 1st if it made the cut, and then if it does, I'll go up to Sundance for a month, and you have a chance to rehearse it and perform it, and rehearse it a lot, and see if stuff works, what doesn't, because it's a lab. And then you get a chance last week, I think, everybody gets a chance to perform it a couple of times. So that will be wonderful. But if it doesn't happen, my director and I are going to do it somewhere in New York after April the 1st. We can't do it anywhere until then because you're signed a contract with them saying that you won't perform it anywhere or do it anywhere because that automatically disqualifies you if you do.
Yeah.
So we're not going to do it anywhere until we hear on April the 1st. So that's the word. I worked on that play for 3 years and did like 14 rewrites.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy with how it turned out. We sent all of it in except for the last 3 pages where we just remained the same, but we've kind of talked about as page by page. We've gone through it page by page by page, and today we went through the last 3 pages, and I'm very happy with it. It's a lot of work, a lot of years, but I'm really happy with it, and I want to do it somewhere. This is kind of my story, so it's very personal. So I'd like to do it, and I will do it. But it would be great if I did it at Sundance, of course. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I hope that turns out very well for you, and I hope.
I'm realistic. When you're up against 700 plays, you're around the world, from around the world. It's a long shot, but I thought, well, why not do the long shot? And then they responded really well. So, but then I'm still in the, I'm still in the running, but it's against a lot of other plays. So everybody has their story.
Yeah. Do you have any Christmas plans?
I'm going to go maybe to, what I can say, I might go to, my best friend Leon, I think he's going to have a Christmas party, so I'll definitely go there. He's always just relaxing and fun. Last time he said, I'm just going to have a few friends over for Thanksgiving, and it turned out to be 13 people, but it was so wonderful. Everybody had their own, it was so fun, and so I'll go to his Christmas party there. And other than that, I want to just take some time and it's been really busy because I've been busy with all the Academy events and films and things and receptions and stuff. So I feel like if I can just have some time just for myself, just to kind of recoup and just kind of have some peace and quiet, I'll enjoy that too before I invited to another place. So we'll see what happens. But at the same time, I'm just really hoping just to not have anything to do for a few days.
Yeah.
That sounds stupid, but sometimes I just don't want to do anything. I want to read a book or see a movie or just hang out with my cats. And of course, I'm always overloaded with paper stuff, and I'm always behind. So maybe if I could devote a little time to straightening out my office area, that would be good.
Yeah.
So, just make it a little bit neater. You should see it. It's just full of papers and stuff. And I did try I got a little bit better because I spent like a half a day the other day sorting out stuff, throwing away stuff too, which is like really important to do. And then some things I can't throw away, and then some things I'm trying to get these pretty little boxes. I got one. It's hard. The store that sold really pretty little boxes closed because if you put the papers in pretty little boxes, it looks better. And then of course mark it. This is what this is. This is what. But I'm also trying to throw away a lot of things. I'm trying to not save so much stuff. And nobody wants my stuff except me. And the stuff that I want, I have to pare it down. I have to just eliminate a lot of it. So that's my challenge. Is like discard things. So if I can discard a few more things over the holidays, I'll be happy. That's my one goal.
Yeah. We got a cat now.
Oh, what kind? What does it look like?
She's a little white kitty with a little bit of calico. And my mom got her from a friend who had a litter of kittens that were like, I don't know, 6 weeks old at the time. And she's really grown in the last month or so. Her given name was Laverne, but we call her Cinnamon or Cinnamony. And she's just this crazy, cute little thing who's always climbing up on things, and just she's got to always, have something fun to do, and it's usually something dangerous.
Oh, I laugh at Popeye sometimes. He just makes me laugh. Sometimes he does stuff to get my attention, like he knocked a bowl over, it didn't break, but he just knocked it. I'm here, give me attention, whap, But they make me laugh. They're so funny. And Cinnamon, I love that name. They grow up pretty fast after the first year. After the first 2 years, they kind of really settle in. Mm-hmm. But they make the joy they have in life, little things they do, it just is wonderful to see. It's like inspiring. I thought, they're just so free, and they do stuff, and they're so cute, And then, of course, like Popeye now has become a real love. When he was littler, he was like, he was like Cinnamon. He was supposed to see. Now he's even here now. I'm petting him now. It just jumped up. Mm-hmm. But I love animals. I think animals. Some people are dog people. I'm a dog person too. I just live in an apartment, so it doesn't work for me because a lot of times I'm out for like 10 hours, 12 hours, and it's not. I thought about getting a dog, but I said, it's not fair to that dog. But I'm out like the other day, Friday. I was out like almost 12 hours because I had to see things. I had an audition that I had to see. A friend in the play, and it was like really late. I got home, and the cats were waiting for me. Of course, like where have you been? Mm. But I can leave them. I left them food, and I know they'll be fine. But even, people don't realize the cats are just as bonded to you as dogs in their own way. And they will choose to love you. One day you'll wake up like Coco, my feral one. I have two cats, Popeye and Coco. Coco was feral for a year and a half. I got her when she was feral. Yeah. And, it took a year, and now she's my girl. She just will, follow me. If I go in the bedroom, she follows me. If I go to the living room, she follows me. Or follows me in front of the computer. She's always. So now I have one chair beside me for Coco and one chair beside me for Popeye. So when I'm on the computer for any amount of time, they'll both jump up, and then I'll have two hands, one for each cat. Yeah. And they're such a joy because, like dogs, cats are also give you unconditional love. I mean, maybe not the kitty stage because they're so wild and free. Yeah. As they mature, they look at you and they go, I love you. And you think, I love you too. And I talk to them and they love it. Popeye, when I was doing the lines for my script for my audition Friday, mm-hmm. He came on my lap and looked at me like a little human. And I would do the lines to him, and he would like look at me, and I'd do more lines, and he'd look at me, and it was like he was my little partner, audition partner, and it was so funny because I've never had a cat do that before. When I start doing lines, he will always jump at me and look at me. It's so funny, it's so wonderful. I said, you were just looking at what I'm doing, and he likes what I'm saying, whatever the lines are. And it's just. I think animals are really God's gift to us, and that's why I'm so upset when we don't have these no-kill shelters, and we don't have more of a. I mean, it's getting better. There are more states that have no-kill laws, and hopefully there'll be more. Mm-hmm. But I think there's the true innocence of the world, and they're really there for you. And they love you unconditionally. And cats love you in a different way than dogs, but both are wonderful. They're both wonderful.
They are. They're just wonderful. We are going to get a dog eventually. So is your health good?
Yeah, I'm feeling really well, except for my foot. But that'll get better. That's not a major thing. It'll get better. I just have to find someone tomorrow or the next day and see if I have to wrap it or whatever to do. And I think probably have to get a shot is what I think I'll do, just to ease away the pain or the inflammation, whatever's going on.
Yeah.
I didn't break anything. It's just whatever it is, it's a bad twist in the heel and everything hurts. But I'll be fine. You know, nothing is broken, so everything will heal, and I'm feeling really good.
Yeah, my mom got injured back in May at work, and it was just a couple of weeks before she was supposed to retire, and she did. But she's going through a lawsuit with them now because of, you know, they didn't help her out, you know, with the injury and stuff. She tripped and she hurt her shoulder, and both of her shoulders, and so she had to have surgery. And now she's having another procedure done next Monday, so it's going to be a very low-key Christmas for us, but she'll be fine.
Thank God, you know, thank God. It's really, injuries are off. They suck. Let's put it that way. Injuries suck.
They do.
And there's no way around them once you're injured. And it takes patience for it to heal. Yeah. And things do heal. You know, sometimes it takes time. Sometimes it takes more time. And what it is for me is like having this foot injury. Mm-hmm. Especially living in New York City, where it's a walking city. That really sucks. But I said, okay, it's telling me something. I'll find the right person. I have somebody to call tomorrow who may recommend somebody. But the thing is, okay, maybe it's saying I should slow down this week. Mm-hmm. So I've canceled other things that I was going to do. I said, okay, let me just cancel them, only because I can't do them like as fast as quickly as I would. So it's just telling me, I think the universe is telling me, just do less. And you'll be happier and your foot won't hurt. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to do less than what I had planned on doing this week. So, and that's okay. You know, I think I just need to get off my feet, stay off my feet for a few days is what I need to do, and I haven't been doing it.
Yeah. I had my physical a couple of weeks ago. It was my first one in 3 years because the medical system really sucks up here in Reading. And I get my blood results this week, going to the doctor to find out and stuff. I just hope I have high cholesterol that needs to be corrected and nothing else, because I know I've gained weight, you know, since I've been depressed from, you know, recovering from a traumatic accident and stuff. But I'm pretty optimistic I'm going to be fine.
I think you will be too. You sound great too. And I think you're still young, and I think if we're younger and we sort of honor our bodies, then our bodies honor us back. Our bodies do heal. It's just we have to give them the time to heal. And I think that's been my lesson with my foot. I didn't give it time, and last night, this morning, I was in such agony, and then I had to go to my rehearsal. And then I thought, well, when I come home and talk to Tommy, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just not going to do anything. I'll just put my foot up and ice it and not do anything. And I won't do the three things I've had planned tomorrow. I'm just going to do one of them because I have to do one because I have a commitment. But then I'm going to just pare it down, and I know my body will heal and your body will heal. But sometimes we just have to honor it with that, give that time. Heal and do things, but maybe do less of things. Because sometimes what I tend to do is I tend to overbook, and I tend to do too much. Yeah. And so maybe this is a lesson the universe is saying to me, okay, now we've made it kind of impossible for you to walk fast, to do things. And you have to just slow down and not do as much. And so I thought about it today before we spoke. I said, okay, I'll do less, and it'll be fine. You know, I'll just do less and let it heal. But I still want to go to a doctor and have it checked out. But other than that, I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I'm gonna wrap it when we get off the phone. I'm gonna wrap it with some more ice, and the ice does make it feel better. I think it takes the swelling down.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned before your friendship with Danny Aiello and stuff. Did you work with him?
I've never worked with him. My late husband worked with him, but I worked with his son, Danny Aiello Jr., the one that died.
Yeah.
Yes. And I worked with him in Amityville, too. And he's the guy, the bug guy, the exterminator that comes in and says, "Oh my gosh, there's a lot of flies here."
Yeah.
And then he says another line about recommend this or that. And Danny said to me, "You're working with my son." I said, "I know." And he said, "Well, take care of him." And I said, "I will." So this is my opportunity to do my John Wayne moment, because John Wayne was, when I was on his set when I was very young, I saw him do what no other movie star, I've never seen a movie star do this since, where he just turned around, and there were a couple of young actors. There was a young actor, there was three people the same, another actor that was pretty well known, and a young actor playing a young cowboy. And John Wayne turned around to the director and said, "Give him the close-up," and walked away. And I was shocked, because I've never experienced that. So when I did Amityville 2, I said that he was shooting Danny's son Danny, who's also named Danny.
Yeah.
He was shooting Danny from the back, and I said, "Oh my gosh, Danny's not going to have his face on camera." So I said to Damiano, because he only had like 2 or 3 lines, I said, "Damiano, give him the close-up." And Damiano was kind of shocked. He said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah." So Danny gets this little close-up of his face. So he told Danny Aiello, the father, my friend, that what I'd done, and Danny said, "Oh, I really thank you for that, and I owe you one."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying to Danny, I never collected. I'm going to say this at his memorial. He has a memorial on Thursday. But that's my joke between him and me. "Danny, I never collected them, and I owe you, But he was a really interesting guy, full of life. He was one of those people that he just went on. He took over the room when he walked in. Is what he did. And
Yeah.
so that was his personality. Big personality.
And he was a bouncer at the Improv in New York. All the comedians knew him.
Yeah, you're right. He was the bouncer, and at one point he said he got to introduce. One night somebody didn't show. He was the guy who introduced the comedians in between all the acts.
The MC, yeah.
And they liked him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he ever did stand up. I forget. But he got to know everybody. Danny knew everybody.
Yeah. I remember he hosted an evening at the Improv, like in the early 90s when I was a kid. But I don't think he was ever officially a stand-up.
Yeah, no, but he did host, and he enjoyed hosting because I think that way he didn't feel like he had to perform. But he hosted, and he was fun. I'm sure he's a good host. I never saw him host, but knowing Danny's personality, I'm sure he was a good host. He was just a very exuberant person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he left behind a great body of work, and he'll never be forgotten.
Oh, yeah, he really did. He left his imprint on this industry. That's for sure. Yeah, and he had a good life. And even though I think he's 85 or 86, when I saw him a while ago last year when we spent some time together, he just was full of life. He was this big personality, and you couldn't help but really like him. He was just one of these people that he was so gregarious and fun that you just automatically liked him.
Yeah, it's a shame. So, Rutanya, there's a game that I like to play with guests, and how this game works is it's silly slumber party questions. So I ask you the question, you answer it, and then you ask me that same question that I asked you, and you answer it.
I answer it both times?
No. You answer it once, and then you ask me the same question, and then I answer it.
Okay, I got it. Okay. I hope I can answer it. I hope I'm smart enough. Okay.
No, it's easy. Rutanya, are you ticklish?
Oh, my God. I am ticklish. It's terrible. I'm so ticklish. Yes, I am. Tommy, are you ticklish?
I am very ticklish. I'm baby ticklish. Yes.
Yeah, just those little wiggly fingers coming at me make me look. Before they even touch me, I go, yeah. So there we are. We share something in common. We're both ticklish.
Mm-hmm. Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
My belly button is an innie. How is your belly button, innie or outie?
It's a very deep innie.
Oh, okay. Mine is a medium innie.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite part of the body, and I contemplate mine every day.
It's sort of the center, isn't it? I mean, that's where we were connected to the umbilical cord, you know.
Yeah.
And we were connected. That's our floating is like an astronaut floating in space with that mask. That was our connection to our mother. So it is a very deep thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very profound place.
What color are your toenails painted?
Huh? I'm sorry?
What color are your toenails painted?
Well, right now they're not painted, but when they are painted, they're red. They're true red. What color are your toenails painted?
Mine are not painted right now, but last time they were purple with sparkles.
Ooh, nice. I like that.
Yeah. I don't really do it in the wintertime because no one sees.
I know nobody sees it. That's how I feel. I'm thinking, why waste the money on a manicure on my toes when nobody's going to see them except me? In the summer is when it's nice because you're on sandals. But sparkly toenail polish, it sounds, maybe I'll try that next summer.
Oh, yeah. And send me a picture because I'd like to see.
Okay.
And
I'll contemplate that. I love True Red, but I'm sure True Red has some sparkles.
I'm sure it does. I think I've seen it. It's like Dorothy's slippers.
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be really great, the red that sparkles, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm on for next summer. I'll do that.
Okay. My favorite question, is there a stinky smell that just makes you gag?
Yes, the smell when they do the coal, when they pave the roads and they use that, it's not coal, it's that, what is it called? It's like an asphalt smell, but it smells like running coal or something.
Mm-hmm.
The asphalt when they're resurfacing a road.
Yeah.
Where they put the final payment on, that really makes me gag. How about you? Is there a smell that makes you gag?
When someone farts or someone's feet.
Oh, yeah, the feet. Okay. Yeah. It's funny because my late husband had these smelly socks. Sometimes I'd have him put them outside the door. But when I didn't have him put it outside, my cat at the time,
mm-hmm.
There was an aphrodisiac. He would get it. He would roll over those nasty socks, and he would just send him crazy. He would just love that smell. And I was always amazed. I said, "Here, Richard, I hate that smell, but look at the cat. He's going crazy for it." So one man's smelly is another cat's pretty. You know, yeah. But I had Richard afterwards. I said, "You got to powder your feet."
Yeah.
So he did. He powdered, and the powder did take off the smell. It's just some of these people sweat in different areas of their bodies, and some people's feet sweat, and that's just the way it is. It's like, but I said, just use some of this powder. It'll make them better. So that deprived the cat. I deprived the cat of his wonderful smell. But it's like, okay, too bad. I'm sorry.
Now I have politically incorrect jokes for you.
Okay.
Everybody knows the old nursery rhyme. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many kids she didn't know what to do. What did her right leg say to her left leg?
The right leg said to the left leg, "I'm a Republican."
No.
I don't know. I'm sure you have a better answer for that. Or I'm a Democrat. The left leg says, James Cagney once said to me, I became a phone buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I became a phone buddy of his through my agent at the time, older guy. They'd been friends.
Yeah.
And what was his joke? His joke was, one day he said, Bill tells me, Jim's Cagney, he says, Bill tells me you're taking tap dancing. And I said, yeah, how did you know? He said, Bill told me. I said, oh, he said, is your right foot better than your left foot? And I said, well, how did you know? He says, because the right foot's a Democrat or the right foot's a Republican. I forgot what we said, but he said, one of them, he said, is a Republican and one was a Democrat. And it was funnier when he said it. I didn't make it this funny. Sorry.
It's okay.
But he put it as a little political joke. But he was. I was always fair at tap dance. He was never like Cagney. Cagney was amazing. But he said he learned it in the streets of when he grew up on 3rd Avenue.
Yeah.
They were all tapping, so that was what they did.
Yeah, no, the right leg said the right leg said to the left leg, didn't say anything because they've never met.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's funny. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for making me laugh.
Oh, I got more. What's
all right? That's better than my joke.
Well, that was Jimmy Cagney's joke.
Much better.
What's the difference between a Rubik's Cube and a man's dick?
I don't know.
The more you play with it, the harder it gets.
That's true. It's true on both counts. It's true.
You know the difference between a golf ball and a G-spot?
Nope.
A man will spend 20 minutes looking for a golf ball.
Oh, yeah. Every golfer should hear that joke. Think twice.
It takes me...
Tommy, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. It takes me 3 seconds to find a G-spot.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
It's better than 20 minutes finding the golf ball, right?
Yeah. Oh, this one. Oh God, this is bad. Oh my God, I'm probably gonna have to.
Let's hear it.
I'm probably gonna have to wash my mouth out with soap after this one. How do you make a wife scream twice?
Okay, how do you do that?
First, you fuck her up the ass, and then you wipe your dick on the curtain.
You scream at that. That's for sure. Okay. You might have to cut that one out. You're right. I mean, I think it's funny, but it depends on how censored you are.
Oh, I'm uncensored, but yeah, I'm a misogynist. I'm a bad person.
Well, I don't know that. I don't think you know what? I wouldn't say you were at all. I think you're just who you are. That's part of your humor.
I'm just trolling those people. That's all when I say that.
Oh, okay, all right, good.
Well, Rutanya, do you have any other upcoming projects you'd like to plug really quick?
No, I just did Blue Bloods a couple of months ago, but it aired. I didn't see it, but a couple of people saw it.
Oh, so yeah, we just lost Leonard Goldberg.
Pardon me?
We just lost Leonard Goldberg.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It was like last week or something.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, my goodness. Okay.
I'm going to keep an eye out for that episode, though, because I love Blue Bloods.
Yeah, it's I forget what it's called, but I'm just a small part in it where I get attacked by somebody trying to rob me, and I wind up in the ambulance.
Yeah.
And so it's sort of based on what's happening in New York now. Older people getting robbed. They see them as easy targets, which is really sort of, they take something that's happening in the city and they put it into their scripts, and so does SVU, Law and Order SVU. So you get a sense of what's going on in the city, not the exact same story because they couldn't do it, but get a sense of the challenges of living in a big city, especially New York. I'm sure every city has its challenges, but now
oh yeah,
we're going through some of them. So, yeah, but hopefully there's nothing happening now. In fact, the agent's offices are closed until January the 6th. So hopefully the new year will be will give me a gift of another role, which I love to act. So I go on and on the set. I'm really happy. I mean, I was thinking, oh gosh, I get a chance to work. So hopefully 2020 will be a blessed year for me and a blessed year for you and everybody that's listening, because I think it will be. I have a good feeling about it.
I have a good feeling about it too. And also, earlier I talked to Lynn Griffin. She says hi.
Oh, she's a darling. She's so talented.
Yes, she is. Oh my God, and she loves my jokes too, and we were just laughing out loud the whole time.
Isn't that wonderful? That's wonderful. Oh, see, you got a following, Tommy.
Yes, it's all the older people. They love me. The ones my age, they're like, that's not funny. That's inappropriate. But fuck them.
Yeah, you know what? You have to. I'm glad you're brave that way, because comedians are comedians, and people. Some people just haven't grown up with a lot of comedy, and like we said before, the world too PC. Can loosen it a little bit.
Yeah.
Less PC.
I know Dee Wallace, she loves my jokes too, right? And her daughter also loves my jokes. They're like, two asses in the same pair of pants, she took after her. She's not like, a lot of the other ones my age and stuff who are offended by everything.
Oh, yeah, that's so wonderful. And she's a talented woman too. She's so good in some of the movies I've seen her in.
Yeah, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky with all the guests that I get and all the relationships I'm able to form with my little iPhone bedroom podcast.
Absolutely. Listen, in today's world, that's what it is about. And you're reaching people. You're reaching out, and it's wonderful. That's the wonderful part about being in this age.
Rutanya? Hello, Rutanya? Well, I guess her phone died, unfortunately. But we had a good interview overall, and I'm so glad I got to talk to Rutanya Alda again. She is one of my favorite people in the entire world. And yeah, this happens sometimes. The phone die right in the middle of it. That we've been talking for over 90 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up now. So, if you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes.